of this live is our evolution is requiring us to make changes within and see within. This has been so hugely present for me in these last few days, like literally tear my arms off kind of present, that my body's hurting, my suffering, etc. Um, I'm getting notifications of my own live. Huh? That's really quality application. So the last few days has been the universe and reality bringing to the forefront all the ways I'm complicit in everything that's not working out. And a lot of people are going to be like, oh, that's not good, and blah, blah, blah. And you got to blame the Illuminati and the cabal and all the bullshit that's out there. And it's a bunch of bullshit. We came here to participate in evolution. The only reason you're in a human body is to evolve, to clear karma, to move up, to become a better person. And every frigging day you will be tested. And the scary part is how much we are programmed and believe that somebody's doing something to us, it's happening to us, which is not self-responsibility. And I'll talk a lot about self-responsibility. I always do, but ultimately, we are creators. And whether or not manifestation has worked for you, because it hasn't for me most of my life, but I've determined lately that my manifestation was going towards a program that I didn't even know was running inside of me, in my subconscious, of unworthiness, of not deserving, of not ready, of waiting, of having to struggle to get to some place that I'm starting to realize I've already achieved. But that'll keep you waiting, that'll keep you not present, that'll keep you ungrounded, that will keep you in a chase, which is the way the Matrix, the program, is designed, is to keep us in a chase, following our own tail, blaming everybody else but ourselves. Ultimately, if you can get to the point where you can finally say everything's happening for me, not to me, your power comes back. It takes a little bit of work and it's scary as hell to get there, but I will tell you, your power coming back is the most magnificent thing that can ever happen. You'll start to see little sparkles of your manifesting, your proper manifestation starting to show up, and those old negative ones start fading away. There's a facet of yourself, let's call it your higher self or your soul, that for the first time in recorded human history, that soul is going to remain in your body. And it's sitting in your body. It's no longer your guidance up here. It's sitting in your body, and it's going to remain in your body to live out this experience. Now, that higher awareness, that higher facet of yourself is trying to clean out the mess, the gunk, the human experience, the avatar situation, etc., that has defined you. And all that is going on right now is basically so much light being pushed up our ass, you can maybe call it, or into our body or into our cells, etc., to finally witness and see ourselves without the veil, without the shadow of the illusion, without the program, without the collective reality story, all these things that you've been taught to keep you separate from your God self or your highest self, or your that part of you that is infinite, our creator self. So our creator selves, we've had that power always, but we've been taught that, okay, relationships don't work out, or marriages don't work out, or jobs don't work out, or bosses are always this, or bosses or jobs are always that. We were put in a program that basically suppressed us and kept us small and kept us so distracted from being in our full soul self that we didn't know what was going on. Now, this was the whole purpose of the collective reality, the whole purpose of the push, the whole purpose of all these games that we've been going through. So ultimately, we're being asked to now become aware of the facets of it ourselves and the beliefs that we have in our brain that say we're not good enough, that say I got to please my mommy and daddy, but you're still doing it in your 50s or whatever age you are right now. These are programs that were inserted into you that are in your subconscious mind that you're not consciously aware of. That's why we call it awakening, that are determining the outcomes of your reality and are manifesting and creating for you from an unconscious or subconscious state. So it's just happening. Like when somebody says, good morning, what do you say? Good morning back, right? You don't even remember saying it afterwards. You say, how are you? Oh, I'm not too bad. Well, have you ever listened to that statement? Not too bad. It's not, basically you're saying, I'm not so bad that I'm dead, because it's a conditioned response. Like, oh, things are kind of great and not great or whatever. Well, what if we said, hey, I'm great this morning? Can you imagine how your outcomes become different when you start talking from a positive state, a happy state, and you become aware of what you're saying, of what you're unconsciously doing, and you're basically shooting and cutting and trying and other stuff on yourself because you're scared. There's a part of you, your protector, your subconscious mind, think of it as a small child that's basically saying, "Yeah, last time I did that, that hurt. Last time I had a relationship, that hurt. Last time I had sex, that didn't work out." And you basically have made a story that basically predisposes you to the same failed outcome every time. So ultimately, we're being pushed to be aware of our choices, of our beliefs, of our stories, of our programs, to consciously see it and say, I don't like that. Where's that come from? And then you put your hand on your heart and you say, I deserve better than that. Because all along, that's all you thought you were worthy of. That's all you were told you were worthy of by your parents, by the school system, by your jobs, etc. But now we're going to an empowered state. Put your hand on your heart right now. Take a deep breath. I'm worthy of better. My old outcomes are not me. It's like putting a sticky note on your forehead all day long. Like I'm a divorced man. I'm a single 54-year-old male. I'm a engineer. I'm a blah, blah, blah. These are all things that I have been, but are not me. Because I'm infinite. I can change in every moment and things are getting better all the time because I believe that. Why do you think my eyes are bright and why I'm positive, but I still have negative outcomes showing in my life? It's percolating, it's angry. But as I become more consciously aware of my choices to feel heavy, to feel like, oh, I'm getting hurt and this really disgusts me and all this kind of stuff, I'm like, I was pushed yesterday. Oh, I was so friggin' scared, angry, etc. And I realized some stuff in myself that all the things that are not working out, I'm doing this with. One finger pointing ahead saying, "Hey, they did that to me." Guess what? There's three pointing back at me, which I found to be true. And I was like, ugh, what a freaking mess. Why did I do this to myself? But I wasn't consciously aware of my program, of my story, of what my mom and dad expected. And I'm not blaming anybody because that would be pointing fingers. But I'm now consciously aware that I have to watch what I say. I have to watch what I think. And if I get in a pattern like, oh, geez, I'm in lack and I need a relationship and I want some this and I want some that and I'm out of money and all this kind of stuff, that's the very thing that's creating in my head because I'm consciously wondering. And so I was chasing. I'm trying to release this Awakening 101 package that's going to make me some money and some abundance and all this kind of stuff. And the software doesn't work and this doesn't work. And every time I try and do it, nothing works out. But ultimately, it's me. There's a part of me that's scared shitless to make money. Where would that come from? Well, every time I made money, it hurt me. It hurt me. I had a job, and the company went bankrupt out from under me, and I did some work for a friend, and he didn't have the money to pay me. But I had to use that money to pay the rent. So all of a sudden I had to make a whole bunch of divest some investments and other things. These all came inside and it was like, just give me a reason to stay in that story and stay hunkered up and all this kind of stuff. But now I'm choosing. And the strangest thing, that guy that couldn't pay me texted me this morning. haven't talked to him for 6 months, and I was mad and all that kind of stuff. And I look at it now and it's like, what the heck happened? Why did that even happen? Well, he was part of my program and I was part of his program, and the whole thing came together to basically give me more and more awareness of being hurt by money. So I'd eventually make this choice and figure it out. Whoa, there's some nasty, intense self responsibility that had to be taken, because I don't hate that man. We were very good friends, but the minute money became in between us and the situation happened, and he wasn't clear on, he didn't have enough money to pay me and was waiting to be paid by the end of it, which wasn't an option for me. And if I would have been told that from the beginning, I would have never involved myself. But now I'm consciously aware. And he had the courage to say, is there anything left outstanding between us? And I said, no, I think we're complete. It's all great. But it was the strangest thing, because I held on to that and used it as an example of my lack of self-worth, that people didn't respect me and didn't pay me money and didn't do these things. He's going through his own shit, he disclosed, and his life is crazy. And basically, you'll join together with people that are having similar and the same problems to have more problems, until you evolve, until you make changes and become aware of why things are fucked up in your reality. And I'm taking conscious self-responsibility. So I'm speaking here from my example to you, because this may be happening to you. I'm almost guarantee it, because that's the whole human experience, is to go through things until you unbind from your subconscious mind these beliefs that keep you worthy, unworthy, and small. And we all have them. And all of a sudden make a choice and say, hey, I deserve abundance. I can say that right here and right now. There's still a little bit of a pull in behind my heart, so there's still a little bit of work to do, but you will get all the work that you need. You'll get all the things that you need to poke through it. I yesterday had to surrender. I had to give up all the outcomes that I've been begging for, and the things that I thought were my dreams and relationships and a public speaking career and all this kind of stuff. I was holding on for dear life, and this is the way it had to come, and all this kind of stuff. The universe has a plan for you. Even I've been seeing these things in my mind forever, and I've never known the how. But I'm so stuck on, oh, it's this person because they smiled at me, or it's this job, or it's this person's going to help me find a speaking career, or whatever. And I was holding on for dear life, and I hadn't let go and let the universe figure it out, because it's the only one that knew the way. And in truth, I do believe that we design our experience even before we come down here. We're kind of running on rails. We still have free will and free choice. So we're ultimately, when people tell you to surrender and let go, it's a very real, true thing. If you've got it figured out in your head, you've got blinders on that you can't see this beautiful thing that's happening here, this possibility that's happening here. You're like, oh, no. It's kind of like the guy that's in the middle of a flood, and he's basically on the top of his roof, and a helicopter comes along and lowers the ladder down. And he says, no, no, God's going to save me. And he dies because God sent the helicopter. He was on blinders. He thought it was going to be in a boat. He thought somebody was going to climb up and pull him down. But the fact that we all have blinders on, and I'm leading the way and speaking vulnerably from my example, this may trigger you and make you feel uncomfortable, etc. But that's what it's designed to give you the gift right here and right now of you being able to see this in me, and then maybe you can see that reflection in you. Not because I want to fix you or you need to be saved or whatever, but because I love the world, I love people, I love myself now. And I want people to have the option of an easier way. And that's what I've chosen to be, is to be really vulnerable and truthful about all the stuff that's not working out in my life, and show it and be messy for you, so that maybe you can not have to be messy, not go through the struggle to see the light. But that's okay. If you don't see the light, if you do see the light, if a seed's planted or whatever, I've done my work. I've done the best that I could to show people an alternate truth and what's a new perspective to things. Because the standing perspective on this stuff is I'm not worthy and the world's hurting me and I'm being attacked by all this kind of stuff. But the actual perspective is it's all for you. It's showing you what's going on, what's blocking you, what's not serving you anymore, so you can make a choice. Oh, that's not working out for me anymore. You're going to be surprised what you find. And if you want a better life, you're going to have to change. And ultimately, that's what I'm suggesting. Some changes in your perspective. Once you understand that these are things are happening for me and you take your power back from them, I'm not a victim, I'm not small, I'm not hurting, and this is awful, and what the place, I can't stand to be here. It's like, no, it's all perfect. It's all happening for a reason. And the hardest things that are going to happen in your life, getting smashed, running out of money, losing your relationship, whatever, you're going to come back to afterwards and say, huh, that helped me evolve. That changed me. That gave me a new perspective. The hardest thing in my life, I had a divorce 12 years ago, had to walk away from my wife and kids. But at the time, my guidance from my angels, and I was just starting to get into this, is if you don't leave your marriage, you will die in 5 months of a heart attack. And I was just like, that's really a choice. Thank you. But I did it. The hardest thing that I ever had. I never had a heart attack. Yes, there was pain and suffering that happened. And yes, it created some damage for my kids, but it also evolved my wife in a way that I cannot even imagine. It evolved me in ways that I cannot imagine. I learned to self-love myself, not just keep giving myself to my wife and my kids and pleasing my boss and all this kind of stuff. I made a conscious choice. It's the hardest thing I ever did, but I deserve love. I can guarantee that. It also allowed my wife to create her own business, to buy her own house, to do things that she would never had the courage to do by herself. So it evolved her. It evolved my kids in ways that I'm still understanding. There's still wounds and pain and projection and other things, but it's made them very independent. My middle son moved out of the house because he didn't enjoy that much control and other things, and he's living by himself at university. And my oldest son got a job and taking responsibility, and my youngest son is not quite out of high school yet, but he loves things like jazz band and playing the saxophone and other things. So we came here for these experiences. And I'm not taking not taking self-responsibility by saying this. I still have lots of work to do with my kids and to move through all that kind of stuff. I still love my ex-wife, but not in a I have to be in the same house and live in this perverted version of control and other things. She told me I was too fat all my life and basically made me feel this big because she didn't want to deal with me. She wanted to have control. She wanted the money. She wanted the comfort. She wanted me to have a job and all this kind of stuff. And it basically blew up in her face. It blew up in my face before I had the divorce. The company that I was working for went bankrupt out from under me. Basically took away all my security and safety overnight. Why? Best thing that ever happened to me. It got me out of a corporate career and trying to please a whole bunch of people and a whole bunch of other stuff. I started my own business. I learned all these cool tools and gifts and interacting with people and other things. The darkest dark is the lightest light. I will tell you that right now. The things that hurt us the most are the things that shape and form us. It may take years. We may hit bottom. We may get addicted. We may blah, 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 blah. But I will tell you from my personal experience, I've had about 10 of them, divorce one of them, the company going out bankrupt, losing my company after I created a new company with the CV and other stuff, losing my house. These all smashed me to this big. And I'm still just in the process of climbing out of all of this stuff. But my brain, my subconscious, my protector is healed. And that will change everything. My outcomes will be much different. I know when I go into a relationship with a person, I don't just give myself and all my love to them and eventually I'll suffer a heart attack. No, not anymore, because I didn't know any better. That's what my parents taught me. My parents were wounded. My mother was very wounded. And that was the only way I could survive, was to keep giving love to my mother when she cried and screamed and had temper tantrums like a child, and she was my mother. But she got hurt really young and she didn't know any better. So can I blame her? No, it evolved me. It made me move up and it made me become completely aware of what I'd created for myself to learn from. The stewing pot, do you think it's just cozy warm in that boiling stew? No, it's burning you down and creating you to basically make a choice, grab the edge of the pot and jump out so you're not basically keep steaming yourself to death. Because that's the whole process. We're in a pot of boiling shit that is serving everybody else but ourselves, but it also has a purpose. It is serving us. Everybody would say it's not serving us. These are all dark mothers and all this kind of stuff. You lived a lifetime where you were part of that at one point or another. If you've been here on the planet as long as some of us have, we've all participated in darkness. You can be dark right now. I can be dark right now. If I want to, because we're a mix of light and dark. We're finding our balance. Do I get really angry to hurt somebody and piss them off and all that kind of stuff? I went growl and everybody on the list that was watching disappeared because they didn't like that. It's funny. Or maybe now they're all back. Oh, maybe YouTube's messing with things. I don't know. But we are here to evolve and change. And do you think a diamond becomes a diamond without a little pressure? And then how do you make a diamond look beautiful? A raw diamond just looks like a broken piece of glass, and it's a clunky, dirty thing with inclusions and all this kind of stuff. It goes to a jeweler. The jeweler sees the light inside of it, starts to cut the edges so it refracts and reflects, and it's one of the most valuable substances on the planet now. Trust me, you distilled by all the shit that's going on in your life is going to be one of the most valuable things on the planet. And that's what we're here for. That's what we're doing. That's what we're coming through. Be aware of it. Make the conscious choice to evolve every time you get pushed and crunched and made small. Make the choice to evolve. Rise up. Have a smile. Say, I love me. Put your hand on your chest. Feel it. Put some light into your chest and put your shoulders back and start to open. I can feel my chest crunching and crocking and crunching because I'm constantly like this. I'm like, oh, life's so hard. And no, life's not hard. Life's good. Everything works out for me. Can you say those things? I love how my life is turning out. I love that I've had wounds and pain and suffering because it's shaped me. It's tempered me. Do you think steel just you put it in a hot fire and if you don't quench it regularly and put it back in the fire and quench it and all this kind of stuff, it doesn't become tempered. It'll just shatter the first time you hit it. You're being tempered. Yes, you're burned today and in the cold water tomorrow and burned tomorrow and blah, 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 over and over and over again. You're being tempered. You're being shaped. You're being formed in only one way that can happen. And that might require some heat, some pressure, some, call it hell in your life because you're becoming a better person. I didn't get this smile and this shine without all the pain and suffering that I went through to get here. You're the same way. So accept it, love it, put your hand on your heart and say, wow, look at who I've become. Despite all that stuff, look at who I've become. I love you. I love you, Paul. Put your name there. I love you, whoever you are. And say it over and over and over again. Feel it with your hand in your heart. Put your shoulders back. Take a deep breath. I love you. And you deserve better. And from this day onwards, I'm going to insist on better. No longer is my protector, my subconscious, my ego going to give me outcomes that keep me small. I am fully ready to return to my God self, to my source, to my awareness. And that's not dying because I told you at the beginning of this, our soul is coming back into our body. So I'm fully agreeing to be fully connected. I no longer need to be in duality. I no longer need to be separate. I am part of a whole, and it's way different than the reality collective that we have right now because that's been hijacked and that's been metamorphosed into something that it isn't. So join with your friends, join with your family, join with your soul family, start to rise up and accept them into your life. You don't need lessons anymore. And if you're getting lessons, what haven't you figured out yet? What haven't you agreed to take responsibility for? Then those patterns will start to disappear. People will show up. Things will change. Because it's all coming for us, not against us. It's not happening to us. It's happening for us. So take that self-responsibility each time. And when it gets hard, put your hand on your heart. I hate this. This is awful. This is uncomfortable. Cancel, cancel, cancel. No, this is a great place. I'm getting shaped and formed, and I'm learning, and I'm expanding, and I'm starting to smile. Own it. Own it. It's not fake it until you make it. Own it. Right here and right now, feel it in your body, and life's going to be better. I love you. I hope this helps. If you got any questions, put them in the comments or look me up on awakeningyou.net or on my Facebook page, Paul Hanrieder, Hanrieder. I've got lots of cool information there. I love you. Have a great day. You got this.